What if the first dragon Hiccup ever touched wasn't Toothless? What if, on that cold and unforgiving night, when the chaos of battle lit up the skies above Berk, a different creature fell from the darkness? What if the arrow Hiccup fired didn't bring down the night fury, but something rarer? Something wilder? Something that would change everything, not just for Hiccup, but for the entire world of dragons and Vikings? This is the story of a boy who found the wrong dragon first, and how that one moment rewrote history in the darkest way imaginable. To understand how different things could have been, we have to go back to the beginning. In the original story, Hiccup is the awkward, undersized son of Stoik the vast chief of Berk, a man who is everything Hiccup is not. Strong. Loud. Feared. Hiccup is the boy who can't lift a sword without dropping it. The boy the other Vikings laugh at. The boy who is invisible in a world built for warriors. But on one desperate night, Hiccup fires a bola launcher into the chaos of a dragon raid, and against all odds, he actually hits something. A night fury. The most feared dragon in existence. Hiccup tracks the dragon down the next morning, expecting a monster. Instead, he finds something wounded, frightened, and when he reaches out his hand, something that chooses trust over instinct. That moment, that quiet, trembling extension of a hand, is the turning point of everything. Toothless becomes his friend. His partner. His mirror. Through Toothless, Hiccup discovers that dragons are not the enemy. And that discovery changes the world. But what if that dragon in the forest had been a light fury instead? Imagine it differently. Hiccup still fires the shot. Something still falls from the sky in a spiral of smoke and shadow. But when he follows the trail through the trees, what he finds is not a black-scaled creature with luminous green eyes. What he finds is breathtaking. White as moonlight. Sleek as a ghost. Her scales shimmer faintly even in the gray morning fog, as if she carries the sky inside her skin. She is a light fury. And she is nothing like Toothless. Where Toothless was grounded, literally unable to fly on his own, dependent on Hiccup, forced into a relationship of trust by circumstance, the light fury is not broken. Her tail is intact. Her wings are whole. She is restrained only by the ropes of the bola, and the moment Hiccup cuts them, she can leave. She can simply go. And that changes everything. Toothless stayed because he needed Hiccup. That need created a bond. It created time. It created the slow, sacred space in which two completely different creatures learn to see each other. The light fury doesn't need Hiccup. She is wild in a way Toothless never was. Her instincts run deeper, colder, and more ancient. She is caution itself. She is survival. When Hiccup approaches her, hand outstretched, eyes cast down, the same gesture that once changed his life, she doesn't lean in. She watches him with eyes like pale fire. And then she launches herself into the sky and disappears. She doesn't trust him. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But Hiccup doesn't give up. He comes back the next day. And the day after that. He draws her in his journal. He learns her movement patterns. He leaves fish at the edge of the cove where she sometimes lands to rest. And slowly, agonizingly slowly, she begins to tolerate his presence. Not trust. Tolerance. And here is where the alternate timeline begins to fracture in ways that matter. With Toothless, the bond was immediate and mutual. Two creatures in need, finding each other. But with the light fury, the process is slower, colder, and far more fragile. Every step forward feels like it could shatter with a wrong move. Hiccup becomes more hesitant. More careful, yes, but also more isolated. Instead of a growing confidence fueled by real friendship, Hiccup has something more like obsession. He is fixated on earning this dragon's trust, and the daily possibility that she won't come back hollows him out in ways he doesn't fully understand. He still believes dragons aren't monsters. He has seen the light fury up close. He has watched her preen, and hunt, and tilt her head with something that looks almost like curiosity. He knows there is intelligence behind those pale eyes. But he can't prove it. Not yet. And without proof, without a visible and undeniable bond, he has nothing to show the world. He is still just Hiccup. Still just the chief's embarrassing son. And then the raids happen. And Toothless is not there to make them stop. In the original story, Toothless is the key to everything. It is Toothless who reveals the queen. It is Toothless who leads the dragons away from her control. Remove Toothless from that equation, and the battle doesn't end the same way. The dragons still raid. The war still grinds on, year after bloodied year. And worse, because Hiccup has a secret, because he has been sneaking away to visit a creature that Vikings would call the enemy, he is now carrying a lie. A heavy, dangerous lie. If anyone found out, it wouldn't just be humiliation. It would be exile. Or worse. Stoic, great and grieving man that he is, has no softness for traitors to Burke. In a world where the war with dragons has no resolution, his heart grows harder with every casualty. Every burnt roof. Every Viking who doesn't come home. He doubles down. He pushes harder. He becomes a man building toward a war that has no ending. And Hiccup watches it all. Pulled between two worlds and belonging to neither. The Light Fury tolerates him just enough to sit near her. But not enough to be ridden. Not enough to be a partner. She carries no wound that makes her need him. And her freedom, the very thing that makes her magnificent, is the thing that keeps her forever beyond his reach. Here is the darkest part of this story. Here is the truth that this alternate timeline leads to. Toothless, somewhere out in the world, is still injured. Still grounded. His tail still broken by the bola Hiccup fired on that very first night. And without Hiccup to find him, without a boy searching for him specifically, Toothless is alone. Maybe he survives. Maybe he slowly fades from the world. The last night fury. Gone. Not in battle. Not in flame. Just quietly, without a name to be remembered by. And the hidden world remains hidden. Not because it is protected, but because no one ever found the bridge to it. No one ever proved it was worth protecting. Humans and dragons remain locked in their ancient war, each side hardened by centuries of grief, unable to imagine anything different. Hiccup grows older carrying a secret that costs him everything and gives him nothing he can share. The Light Fury, in the end, returns to the wild. She always does. She is not meant to be tamed. And perhaps that is the most painful truth of this alternate story, she was never going to save him. Not the way Toothless did. Because Toothless didn't just give Hiccup a dragon. Toothless gave Hiccup himself. One dragon. One moment. One outstretched hand that was met with another. That is what was lost. That is what was never found. Sometimes the entire world turns on a single, quiet, trembling second. And sometimes, when that second goes a different way, the light never comes. The war never ends. And a boy who could have changed everything, simply grows old in the shadow of what might have been.